Hi and welcome back. This is the final part of this video where we are trying to produce something like this, a more complex figure, or should I really say a simple figure, but against a more complicated background, a background which is where we've just had a play but we've built up layers, and we're now ready to try and put a figure in. And the figure is semi-abstract. That doesn't really look like I mean, it's meant to be a woman, but it doesn't really look like a woman in any kind of detail or shape. It's just a head and a long body and an impression of a reflection, possibly in some water or something. So, and this could either be a moon, I'm not quite sure what this is, a moon, or maybe it's her umbrella or parasol. Okay. So, trying to implement what we talked about in the earlier videos, that figures, you do a small head, always smaller than you think, and then leave a bit of a gap and draw a brush down to give the impression of a body. Now let's see which paintbrush I can use for this. Got my tea here already. So I'm going to just start, I'm just going to do this in black initially. Make sure the paint's not too thick because I might not want it to be black later on. And here we go. So I'm just going to do a small circle for the head. And then I'm going to start the shoulders off just at a bit of an angle. I think I understand that for women, shoulders should be more narrow, and for men, they should be broader. So I'm going to try to make this a woman, and therefore it's going to be a bit narrower. I'll do the same on this one. Let's have a go here somewhere. And the shoulders. And then I might change the colour now, and I'm wondering if it's blue. I don't think I'm using black correctly. Let's see if I can find some black. Let's just find it from somewhere else. Oh, here we are. There's a bit of black. There. And now I'm going to, I think, right from the start, I'm going to start this dress off in a white, so that we can put some other colours in it a bit later on. So I'm not going to worry too much whether it's, as I said, it doesn't have to look exactly at all like a woman. It's just an impression. And do the same here. I think wherever this is, it's obviously meant to be somewhere hot, because this woman doesn't seem to be wearing very much other than this long dress. Her arms and one of her shoulders is bare. Given that it's quite cold here now at the moment, it feels like this would be somewhere nice to be. Now, on my original painting, and again, not for any particular reason, I had used a palette knife, I think that must be a palette knife, to do a kind of squish of the paint across, and I think I will have a go at trying some of that here as well. As you know, in these videos, we never know if it's actually going to work out or not, so we just have to travel, hopefully. Well, that's what painting's all about, isn't it? You just hope. You hope that something will work out. No point in being too fussy about any of it. So I'm just using a palette knife now in the hope that... I think what I'll do is mix a bit of maybe yellow or yellow ochre with the white. Let's see if I can do some of that and make it a bit less pure white. Yeah, I think that's a bit better, really. A bit more interesting. Put some of that in this dress. And then that's right, just as if she is standing on the edge of a lake or a pond. Put some of it, bring some of it down here. Got this one a bit too much in the centre, I think. I think paintings always look better if the main object isn't right in the middle, but I haven't done that very well here. Right, now let's put some of this across here. I don't think this is intended to represent anything at all, other than just to make the painting a little bit more interesting with all this stuff going across. Got a bit more colour in the dress. And then I think what looked quite good on this painting was a bit of black and here to suggest maybe a reflection in the water. So just do that a bit more. Now, what I seem to have done on this is brought an arm down here and another arm down there. That looks a bit odd. And my approach to painting is really just to keep going until something looks right. So I'm not very scientific about it. Now I'm going to get this, a slightly bigger brush, and I'm going to have a go at painting whatever this round thing is around the back. Now, as long as I've got some white in the colour, it will blot out the colour behind it. So I've got some yellow and a good dollop of white here to make this circle. Let's try it on here as well. Otherwise the head of the figure just won't show. Once I've got the shape, I might use the palette knife a bit more, because to make the colour and the circle a bit more interesting. I suppose it would help if I could draw a circle a bit more effectively. Let's see if I can put in a little bit more interest now with the... I might put a bit more of a few bits of this green in again. See if I can put in some bits around here. Oh, that's better. If I just use it flat, it seems to be giving a slightly better effect. Although it makes it look less like a moon and more like... maybe it's going to have to be a parasol now if it's got this green in it. Put some of it more, maybe a little bit of it in the dress as well. Now, I'm just going to look and see if I've got any yellow. Yes, I've got some yellow ochre. I'm going to try and make her body less black, so that she can be... I want her to be more, you know, just it's not obvious what her skin colour is. That she's just silhouetted against the light. I think this brush is actually a little bit smaller. Let's try and use this. Trying to make the colours a little bit more subtle, so they're not, so it's not so starkly white and then green. Just trying to draw some of this down here as well. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do now is stop the video, and I'm going to have a little fiddle on my own for a bit and just see if I can tidy this up a little bit and make it a little bit more like a finished painting. And probably for this I'm going to use a smaller brush, maybe this one. And just have a think about what touches would make these look a little bit more finished. And probably what I want to work on is the body and the position of the head. So in a minute I'll come back and I'll let you know what I've done, if I've managed to improve it, that is. Okay, thank you very much. So what I did to try and finish them off a little bit was as we said we might, I used this brush, which is very fine, to play around with the heads a bit and just try and get more of a shape of head and neck and shoulders, and then to bring the moon or the parasol around again. So I just kept alternating between black and brown and some of this creamy yellow. And then the other thing I did was to try until they looked, both of them looked a little bit more like they could be women. And then I introduced a bit of brighter colour on the edge here, just to try and make it look a little bit more interesting. And this was already here, this blue, so I put some of this blue in the dress as well, and in here as well, just to carry it on a little bit. But again, it could have been anything. There was no need particularly to do that. So what I would normally do now with these paintings is, as usual, leave them and look at them again maybe tomorrow and see what I think, what extra touches they need. And then when I'm happy with them, what I normally do is put some of this on, which is Brilliant Gloss Gel. I put it on with usually with a clean palette knife, and just spread it across all in the same direction, just to varnish it. And it goes on white, but then dries clear, and it brings out the colours. If the colours have gone a little bit dull, it'll make the colours pop again, and it also protects the painting. I would also sign them, of course, in the, perhaps here in the bottom left hand corner, I would have thought. So that's it for today, and that's the end of our series, our little series on figures. And I hope you found it helpful. If you do, and if you would like to see any more of these videos, do please subscribe to DrinK in the Hand Art. But thank you very much for watching. Thank you.